Welcome to Beyond the Spire, a podcast of the Save Our Sacred Sons project here in Preston at the Catholic Shrine of St. Walburg, supported by the National Lottery. In each episode, we go beyond what you see from the street. We explore the story and the sound of Gregorian chant, the Church's own voice, so that this treasure of faith and culture is not just preserved, but lived and loved again. I am Canon Bunans. Whether you're a musician, a member of a parish choir, or simply someone curious about the Catholic faith heritage, you came to the right place. Let's begin. Today we are talking about the advanced steps of reading a score, of singing Gregorian chant, and we are delighted to have you both again, Charles and Joshua.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for having us back.
So we talked about the basics yet. Now we want to sing the best we can. We want to achieve that shape the Church has formed in that melodies, that particular melodies that we can read on the scores. So how can we do? I can see here the little bars.
Yes.
So what are they?
Yes, so the bars can vary in different shapes, but the ones that we see on the end, they reference the end of the piece or the end of the whatever we're singing. You have a version of that with only half, so you have one bar, and that is simply a rest. And this is a time when the whole entire group of people singing, or if you're singing by yourself, you'll take a break and you'll take a breath. You have bars that are slightly smaller, and these can also sign for the end of a phrase or the end of a certain movement of words. And then you have the smallest versions at the top. But it's very important to know that these don't necessarily mean they're not all breaks and they're not all rests and they're not all times to take breaths.
But they can structure the score itself. For instance, here we can see that the neumes are more readable. So compound neumes, can you talk about that, Charles?
Yes, so a compound neume is where you have multiple neumes that basically form one big neume. So for example here you have a correctus followed by a climacus.
Resupinus.
Yes.
Behind me we see a very ancient version of the Tues Petrus tract. And we have here the modern version of the same melody, so kind of 5 centuries afterwards.
Right.
And we will just put it here. So those words are the same that the frame here behind me. And here is a full bar. What does it mean, Charles?
A full bar, it indicates that there's a sort of break in both in the music and in the text. So it could be at a punctuation, for example, in the text. And it means that you can take a break and you can take a breath without breaking the rhythm.
So the bars are designed to split the music?
No. I suppose they're there to structure. As you said,
Yes.
they're there to structure the piece.
For instance, here we have Tues Petrus, and Petrus is obviously a word very important in this particular feast. So Saint Peter is the major character in this feast day. When we have a bar here, it follows a whole development on the single word Petrus. So at the end of this development, we have like a breath, but
Yes.
this rest takes...
It takes a time, but it doesn't break the melody, as it were.
So it can't be very, very long.
No, it's
It's
like a second or
It depends on...
it depends on the music.
yes, on the speed. So let's turn the page. I see here a double bar. What does this mean?
It indicates either the end of a phrase, a piece, or the end of a verse, for example.
Yes,
or it could...
I'm sorry. Here we have a new verse.
Yes.
So that's what signifies the double bar.
Yes.
So new verse is a new
Well, it's
piece.
a no. It's the same piece, but it's a new text, as it were, which is then joined to the other text.
And usually verses are sung by a small amount of choir singers.
Called cantus.
Called cantus, yes. Okay.
And you have the same in the start of the pieces. So before the stars, you have this group of singers that will we call intone, and so that they will bring about that voice initially, and then everyone else will follow after that star. After that star signifies.
We can see that at the end of this verse, we have a star here.
This is also true, yes.
So here, the whole choir will come and sing the rest of the verse.
Right.
And we talked about expression. So we can't just do what we want when we are reading a score in Gregorian chant. For instance, I see here a little scribble here and there. Those are called Quilisma.
Yes.
And they are like springs. So before Quilisma, we
lengthen the note just before it.
Yes.
Slightly. We don't pause, but
it's more
lean on it.
Like pushing
yes.
the spring and then release
and
it.
Then releasing it as you go up the Quilisma.
Yes, exactly. And over this Quilisma, we have a note with a little vertical bar, a little stroke. What does this mean?
It's an epizema. And it means that basically that note, you don't lengthen it a full beat, but you lean on it and you emphasize it almost to a degree.
But it's helpful to know that, or maybe not so helpful to know that it's not a set specific time that you hold it for, unlike in modern music where a dotted note is geometrically what it is. So in modern music where you would have a dotted note that it shows it's plus a half a note, it doesn't work like this, as it's not as geometric, or not as geometric, but as mathematic. In Gregorian chant, where you have the line above the note,
like here,
it doesn't necessarily mean it always has the same length added onto it.
It's just like rallentando in Italian. It would be just slow a bit to then add expression to the whole syllable. But we also have dotted notes, do we, on Gregorian chant?
We do, yes.
So is it a half?
No, in Gregorian chant, when you have a punctum that has a dot next to it, there's a dotted punctum, it doubles the length of the note.
Because the fundamental distinction between modern music and Gregorian music is that modern music can be divided.
Yes.
The times are divided. And in Gregorian chant, time is not divided. It's just additive things, additive elements.
Yes.
So we double the time.
Yes.
So we keep with the same regularity.
Yes.
There is no syncopation.
Yes.
So here we have an adorned piece. We just have on the other page another really developed melody called Alleluia. What's interesting here is that the melody itself is called back on different parts of
the text.
Yes.
So, for example, here you have the Alleluia, and then it finishes with the same melody. So here at the meam.
So here, this is the same shape than here.
And so it, it's basically it mimics almost the Alleluia.
We call that melodic formula.
Yes.
Yes. So I see that on this book, we also have vertical strokes. We call that ictus. Can you say something about that?
So an ictus is a vertical stroke that's normally under the note, and it denotes where you have a downbeat on the piece.
That's a way Solem Abbé wants us to interpret the correct way, because these strokes are not available on the former notations. So why Solem decided to add that, it's to help the unity of the choir. The note with the stroke would be called a downbeat, which is different from a strong beat in modern music.
Yes.
And we have another type of beat, which is the upbeat. Can we talk about that?
Yes, so the upbeat is the opposite to the downbeat, of course, but it's where sort of when you're singing, there's a kind of lift up to this this note, and it's kind of like you've described before, like the flying of a feather, sort of in the air, as the note has a sort of lightness to it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the downbeat has a heaviness to it. It's merely it's even lighter than the lower one.
It's
I'm not
like
explaining it
a
brilliantly.
rest or a tranquil note.
Yes,
Like
yes.
a very, we say in French posé,
Mm-hmm.
which means posed but also reposed,
Yes.
rested.
Yes.
Okay, so this is completely different from the modern way of opposing beats, so strong and weak beats.
Yes.
There are no weak beats in
No.
Gregorian chant, and there are no strong beats. Everything has more subtlety in the calling itself,
Yes.
because we need to maintain the piece. So even the term beat is too hard to describe that.
Mm-hmm.
When we have a bar in Gregorian chant, the notes that follows the bar could be either way an upbeat or a downbeat. It's not
Yes.
like in modern chant
Where
we
it's
have a
always
strong,
a strong
beat.
beat,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So that means that the start after taking a breath would be kind of elevated and then coming in a floating way,
Mm-hmm.
or it comes from something more peaceful and more
Well, you said tranquility. Tranquility is a good, because tranquility, in tranquility, there's a groundedness to tranquility.
Can we add some other expressions that are not written here on the scores? I'm thinking about the meaning of the text.
Yes. Yes, you can.
So the text itself has variation in intensity.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, well, when we say tues Petrus, Petrus is the key word here.
Yes.
Tues is good, but it's just driving to Petrus. So the melody has to reflect that, and even the way we are singing express
Mm-hmm.
this drive. That is to say that the pace of a piece will not absolutely be metronomic
Yes.
or mathematic. It can vary from a part to the other, and usually when the melody comes higher, we also have some louder expression, and when it comes down, it's more quiet,
Yes, it's softer.
softer. Yes,
Yes.
and all that put together would be for the solemn method,
Yes.
the grand rythme.
Yes.
I suppose now looking at the structure and studying the way that the chant is formed, one would definitely like to hear how this chant sounds like and what it feels like to experience it.
Oh, you're right. And as this is the end of this episode, well, in the next 4 episodes, we'll hear some examples of Gregorian chant sung by the one who prayed it daily.
Mm.
Very good. Look
Good.
forward to that.
Thank you
Look
very
forward
much
to it.
for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Cameron.
you. Thank you again for having us.
We all learned something here, I think.
This,